decided to come out. The wind kind of laid down. Had a big north wind for a couple of days. We figured the lake might be kind of tore up, so we got out here fishing the canals, in and around eating owls. Water's very clean. And as you can see, another 15-inch trout here. And he is choking down that bait. They are hungry.
All right, what we doing today, just got off of a big cold front. Late in the year, getting late into the spring. It's probably gonna be one of the last fronts we see. But we started off in the marina, had a hard north wind. It's good to try some of the local canals in the north wind, and now the winds went relatively flat, kind of out the south. So we're gonna try some areas on the north shore first, and then maybe head south if we feel like the lake's clean enough on the south shore. Spot number 2, fish number 2. Gotta be a red, I think. Oh, red daddy. There we go. Yeah, baby. Oh! Let's throw it right back in there and tell you what we're doing now. So, you know, when you get a north wind, typically the south end, you know, not typically, almost always the south end of the lake is going to be dirty when it blows, when you get a front, one of them springtime fronts, and that's what we just had, was a little springtime front. So when we first started, I like to come out right after the front's over and through and that wind goes to lay down. But my first few spots I'm gonna check is gonna be on the north shore, because that's gonna be clean on the north wind. So we stayed on the north end of the lake, caught a fish here, caught a fish there, started off in the man-made canals, and then as the day progressed, then we're gonna move our way to the southern part of the lake. We're trying some rocks that protect the southern part of the lake. And I can watch it before my eyes. The water's cleaning up as the time goes by. And by tomorrow, this will all be nice and clean. But it's definitely clean enough to catch a few fish right now. And we've been catching some trout on this end of the lake, but hadn't really found them yet today. But we still got some hours left of the day. And as the day goes on, it's gonna get cleaner and cleaner. And I usually like to come out in the afternoons after a front, as it just gives the lake more time to clean up. But let's see if we can find them on the south end of the lake now that we're on this side.
Hey, for shad. Got a tail on that fish. He's all fired up blue. A little slot red. Right there.
There we go. All right, so now we're trying to pop a cork on this south shore line. Instead of throwing up close to the bank where we caught some reds, now we're throwing that cork way off the bank. And there we go. Let's see if they got a few out here. All right, whenever you're fishing these marsh shorelines in the lake or anywhere, if you're looking for the trout, I usually like to get the boat right up on the bank and throw out into the lake. The trout typically are off the bank a pretty good ways. And if it's more redfish you're looking for, that's really what's hanging around the area, you simply want to just make your cast like this here, you know, especially like points like this and whatnot. Try to target points, coves, something with a little difference in the shoreline, but you want to throw it right up on that bank like that, and then just work that point on the shoreline itself. And typically when you do that, that's where your redfish would be. And then when you throw out towards the lake, and that, I'd say the magic depth when you're fishing a shoreline for specks, you want to be anywhere from like 3 to 5 feet is like a good depth for the speckled trout, where the reds are typically going to be on the shoreline itself. All right, we got a short right here, maybe a 2023 keeper. Let me show you guys these new pliers we got at Matrix Shad. Get that shrimp Creole TKO out his mouth. All right, guys, check out these new pliers right here. Very rush resistant. Aluminum pliers. Perfect for getting these fish out. Try to be gentle with this guy, as they got to be 13 inches now. Let him go. Got little line snippers right here. Check that out on matrixshad.com under our gear page. These things are awesome. I've been leaving them in the boat. They get very little rust on them. All right, well, we caught a few on the shorelines. We've checked several things already today. That's what I like to do when you get real nice, calm days. These shorelines are still a little bit stained, as it had, I mean, I wasn't here to see it, but I'm sure 2 to 3 foot rollers crashing into them no less than 24 hours ago. So even though it's slick calm, it's still kind of stained. Did a good job, you know, covering some water, seeing what's really going on out here, not just going to the bridge only, but let's go ahead and finish the day on the bridge, try to put a few more in the boat and see if they still biting over there. There. And some might say, well, why haven't we been on the trestle all day? Well, we know these fish are here. This area is super crowded here now. The only reason it's kind of mellow today is because it had that big north wind this morning to keep the boats off of here. But you'd be able to catch these all month. But what we like, the reason we checked the other stuff today is because with the crowds, you know, the crowds could shut this bite down. You come out here on like a Friday or something and the bite's dead because there's so many boats. And if you find them fish on one of them shorelines that we checked today, you have the place to yourself and catch fish like this all by your lonesome, which is much more entertaining and peaceful. But had to give the trestle a shot, and didn't take long to see one of these.
We made our way to the bridge now after going scout a lot of things, like, you know, Chaz alluded to. You know, when it's gonna come a time when there's gonna be, you know, 40 or 50 boats on this bridge. You'll get that daylight drift in the morning on these big fish, and then they'll shut down. And it's always important to have that backup plan. You want to have that backup plan ready, even with the wind. You may get a west wind. Or something like that that's going to shut the track down, but you'll be protected on one of them shorelines. But another good solid fish. Expect this to happen all the way probably into May. You know, we'll get that bite till May, and then we'll go from there with another big solid beautiful fish.
There we go. All right, guys, I'm not gonna sit here on this bridge and beat it to death and talk to y'all about it again, as we've been discussing the trestle a lot here lately. But the main focus today was to go look at some other areas, start preparing for when the bridge gets overcrowded, you come out here and they're not biting, or a weather problem. Start trying some shorelines. We checked Eden Isles, some of the canals. We tried the hospital wall. Pretty much everywhere we went, we caught a couple fish. The trestle does look like still like today. If we would have sat in here all day, we would have caught 20 or 30. But it's Chris's day off from chartering, and we like to show you guys other things besides just the bridge. So what's the point in just beating the bridge to death. So that's why we started doing some other things in different areas. But hope you enjoyed this episode of scouting Lake Pontchartrain. Caught them last couple on the finger mullet X-Shad on that screw lock jig head, and we used all kinds of stuff today. We threw some popping corks, we threw some other color matrices, and some of these items will be in your monthly bait box. So make sure you subscribe to the monthly bait box. And one thing I can guarantee you'll get this month is right here, the new Matrix Shad Buff. This thing's awesome. You just put it, there you go, over your, you go over your neck, over your ears, over your nose if you want. This is good for protecting yourself from the sun. It's also good on a chilly day like we have right now, keeping your neck and your ears warm. So you'll love these things. They came out great. Get your hands on some Matrix products. We showed you guys the new Matrix pliers. Check those out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, good fishing.